The ultimate test of human athletic endurance is the marathon, a 26-mile cross-country dash reflecting the achievement of a Greek messenger in the year 490 BC. Today, the unrivaled champions of this endeavor are not the professional stars, but an order of Tendai Buddhist monks whose monastery is in central Japan. They are the marathon monks of Mount Hiei. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Moving at a steady, determined pace, Tanno Kakudo starts his 22-mile marathon on Mount Hiei. He has contracted, on pain of death, to complete the spiritual and physical test of 1,000 such marathons within the next 7 years. In his quest, he will cover over 27,000 miles on this mountain, a distance greater than the circumference of the Earth. Tanno is only the 6th person to attempt the marathon meditation since the Second World War. But the prize he seeks is not a pot of gold or a few fleeting moments of glory. Rather, he seeks enlightenment in the here and now. And if successful, he will become a living Buddha, a modern-day saint. The marathon is a pilgrimage to the 270 sacred sites on Mount Hiei. Here the monk isolates himself, aiming to live every day as if it were his last. The marathon monks are followers of Fudo Myo-o, the unshakable king of light. Fudo, who has a fearful face encompassed by a fiery nimbus, burns up evil passions while illuminating the darkest corners of existence. Fudo is the active element of salvation, capable of channeling his awesome power to others. These running Buddhas strive to become one with Fudo, to actually perceive his dynamic image as a living force, and in this way, to tap his awesome energy. Buddhists believe that the root of all evil and suffering is the self, or ego. Only by meditation can we realize the illusory nature of our self and reach beyond it to discover our divine being, the Buddha within. Meditation can take many forms. Raking gravel patterns with great care and discipline is an act of meditation and a step on the path to enlightenment. Meditations can involve varying degrees of austerity and self-control. Most Buddhists believe that enlightenment is only reached after many reincarnations. But Tendai Buddhists believe that it is attainable in a single lifetime through extreme austerities such as the marathon meditations. As Tanno Kakudo sees it, the physical ordeal is a means to a spiritual end.
開放業は歩行禅というんですけども、決して無理な
The marathon walk is called Hokozen. The walking is a form of meditation. We don't walk fast. The purpose is not exhaust yourself. If you look at my hat, called the Rengegasa, it should not move like this when I walk. It should move smoothly, even if the path is rough. This means I have to keep my back and my hips upright, or the movement should come from the lower half of the body.
Of all the disciplines practiced on Hiei, the mountain marathon has had the greatest appeal over the centuries, for it encompasses the entire spectrum of Tendai Buddhism. The mountain itself is a mandala, a symbol of totality, of wholeness, with its many monasteries and many secret marathon routes. In accordance with instructions given by the gods, a marathon monk trains hard every day, making pilgrimages to the holy places and practicing intently in these undefiled surroundings, thus losing himself in the body of the Supreme Buddha. Mount Hiei stands just a few miles northeast of the ancient city of Kyoto. The place called Mudo-ji is the starting point for the 18-mile marathon. From here, the monk proceeds to Kompan Chudo, and from there through the rest of the eastern precinct, then on into the western precinct, Yokawa, down to Sakamoto, and completing his journey back at Mudo-ji. Along the way, he will stop at 255 stations of worship, will negotiate thousands of stairs and many very, very steep slopes. In the Imuro Valley to the north of Mudo-ji, the course is longer, 25 miles, and it contains more stations of worship. This path runs from Sakamoto up to the eastern precinct, into the western precinct, to Yokawa, and then back to Imuro. The stations at which you must stop include temples and the tombs of Tendai patriarchs and great saints. There are also stops at sacred waterfalls, ponds, and cedar groves, at stone Buddha images, and at one or two places where he must placate the residing gremlins, or hungry ghosts. The monk has received a secret handbook, which gives him directions for the course, describes the stations to visit, and lists the proper prayers and chants. Before learning the way, the monk sometimes gets lost in the heavy fog that frequently blankets Hiei, and in his confusion it is easy for him to go many miles out of his way. Despite the clearing of the pathways during the pre-training period, there are still plenty of sharp edges or points to cut tender feet. All the monks clear the route of debris, especially glass, sharp rocks, sticks, or branches, while the new monk may be rather lax about such clearing of the path. The senior monks, who know what it is like to have their feet slashed or punctured, or even to step on a poisonous snake, they cover every inch of ground thoroughly. By 7:30 in the morning, Tanno reaches the last stage of his daily marathon, the final grueling 1,400-foot climb back up the mountain. It takes 6.5 hours for Tanno to complete his daily marathon. The course can be completed in 6 or even 5.5 hours. But that is likely to draw criticism from the senior monks, who disapprove of the young men racing through the pilgrimages. With a little assistance from his pusher as he comes up the last flight of stairs, Tanno arrives back at the monastery of Myo-o-do at 8:30 in the morning. Set in a small valley, this monastery has always been the headquarters for the marathon monks. And today, Tanno is the person in charge. After conducting an hour-long service in the main hall, the monk goes to his quarters to